Hi! So today I have a really fun video planned. I'm going to be reading books that Harry Styles has recommended. So I have 5 books that I chose and selected. This is a video inspired by Jack Edwards, who does similar videos. He does like a lot of book related videos, and he usually does videos like reading books that celebrities recommend or celebrities read or whatever. I decided to do Harry Styles because I saw him in concert and then I completely fell in love and ordered a bunch of books that he's recommended. So I have Love is a Mixtape, which I've already read and I'll get into that after. And then I'm about to start reading Susan Sontag, Notes on Camp. I have In Watermelon Sugar. I have My Policeman, which I'm very excited about. And I have Love is a Dog from Hell, which is Charles Bukowski collection of poems. And what else should I say? I'm also using my Love on Tour bookmark that I bought on Etsy. It's so cute. If you haven't watched my Love on Tour concert vlog, you can watch that. Yeah, so let's get into it. This is probably gonna take me like a week to film, so if my outfits change and stuff, that's why. I've read one of them, but it obviously takes me a while to read 5 books. I've started out the new year very strong and I've been reading a lot so far. Today's the 10th and I've read 5 books so far. Very proud of myself. So hopefully I can keep that up for the new year because I want to do book related videos this year. Also, can you see him? There's Harry. I got him for Christmas. Isn't he cute? So the first book I read was Love is a Mixtape, Life and Loss, One Song at a Time by Rob Sheffield. This is a memoir by Rob Sheffield, who is an editor and contributing author to Rolling Stone magazine. I have notes on my computer, so I'm gonna read them from there. So my first thought is that it was very strange to read a memoir for someone that I'm not like familiar with. Obviously I don't really know Rob Sheffield that well. I don't really read Rolling Stone that much. So it was just strange going in not knowing anything about him. And I wish there was photos in the middle. You know how memoirs do that sometimes? Because I looked up his photo and he did not look anything like how I thought he would look like. So, here I'll insert a picture of Harry reading this. I will also insert a picture of Harry with Rob Sheffield, because they are big music people. So this book is essentially an ode to music and Rob Sheffield's wife Renee, who died in her early 20s, mid-20s, something like that, which was very sad. It was sad to read that. So while reading this, actually, let me say I really enjoyed this book. It's not something that I would pick up for myself because I don't really like memoirs, and definitely not memoirs of people that I'm not familiar with. But I did enjoy reading it and I'm glad that I read it. And I think anyone would be able to pull something out of this book and relate it to their life or find something in this book, if that makes any sense. I really liked reading about how he picked himself up out of his depression and was able to listen to new music and meet new people after his wife died. So it reminded me of the movie Mixtape on Netflix, which is a new movie that came out, I guess, last year now. And it's so cute. It's about a little girl who, she like relates to her parents who died when she was little through like their music. It's very, very similar story-wise and like message-wise that music brings people together. What else can I say? I guess I really also liked that each chapter introduced a mixtape that was important at some point in Rob's life, and he describes that in each chapter. I really like making mixtapes. I remember I used to make them for my friends on CDs, and I still have them in my CD case. And my mom still listens to CDs that I made for her. But I feel like that's kind of a lost art, I guess. He talks about that in the book. He says that they used to be mixtapes on tapes, and then they evolved into CDs. And obviously now, what are we to do? Like, make a Spotify playlist? I guess that's kind of the same. It's a little different though. So in reference to Harry, to relate this back to Harry Styles, which this video is about, I'm curious to know what songs he thought of, or what moments in his life he thought of while reading this book. You know what I mean? Like, what music can he relate? Or did he think, maybe he thought about how his music plays a part in other people's lives. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to read this book from the perspective of an artist. There's also a part in the beginning where he talks about to be a popular, I don't know how to word that, to be a good, no, not even that, to be popular, I guess, you have to have like female appeal, like you have to have girl fans, which I thought was kind of funny because Harry obviously has a horde of female fans. Yeah, but overall, I think it was a very good book that is perfect for literally anybody. I think anybody could find something to relate to. I think it's especially good if you love music. And I think it's interesting to read it knowing that Harry Styles read it, because I'm curious to know what he got out of this book. Okay, I just got home from work where I finished reading Notes on Camp by Susan Sontag. I'm going to read the back of this so you know what it is. It says, these two classic essays were the first works of criticism to break down the boundaries between high and low culture and made Susan Sontag a literary sensation. I did not enjoy this at all. I thought it would be interesting because I do like camp. And, like, I love club kids and drag queens and things like that, so I thought it would be interesting to, kind of break it down. But really, I was reading it, and I was just like, why did she write this? Like, why does this exist? Why do we need to define this? Why do we have to categorize things? So the first half, or I guess it's two essays. So the first essay is basically defining camp in different ways, and I still couldn't really tell you what an actual definition of camp is. I mean, I could probably look at something and say, oh, that's camp, but I could have done that before I read this. I didn't really learn anything new. And the second essay, which is called One Culture and the New Sensibility, I have absolutely no idea what it was saying. Absolutely no idea. I was also reading it and found it to be a little pretentious. It was like, I don't know, it was just kind of a waste of my time. And it didn't take, it's like 52 pages. It didn't take that long. But I didn't learn anything new. I didn't necessarily enjoy reading it. I honestly couldn't even tell you anything about it. So, I don't know. And I don't even, I mean, I can relate it to Harry by saying that he dresses campy in different situations. I don't know when he read this, or if he read this, or if he was seen reading this, but I know that he was the co-host or the co-chair of the Met Gala camp theme night, whatever you'd call that. So it makes sense, and he's definitely been seen carrying around Susan Sontag books before, so maybe he talked about this in an interview? I don't know, but it was on lists of books that he recommended, so that's why I read this. I didn't really care for it, so skip it. Don't read this one. Hello! I just got home from work and I've been doing some thinking. I started reading this yesterday, Love is a Dog from Hell, Charles Bukowski, which is a collection of poems from 1974 to 1977. Harry Styles has said that he loves Charles Bukowski's writing style and he thinks it's very lovely and romantic. However, I read about, I don't know, 15, 20 poems from here, and it is not for me at all. I cannot read these. I cannot finish this. This book that I purchased is like 300 pages of like the raunchiest poetry I've ever read. It is not for me, and I am not going to torture myself by reading it, so I'm giving up. Yeah, I wish I could, because I know that he has influenced Harry's writing a lot, but I'm really not gonna put myself through the hell of reading these disgusting poems. It might be for somebody else, but definitely not for me, so I'm not gonna torture myself and read those. Okay, now I'm gonna read In Watermelon Sugar, which should be better, but I'm not sure because I think it might be kind of strange and I don't do mushrooms. Here's my cat. Okay, it's now 3 days into making this video, and I have finished In Watermelon Sugar by Richard, I think? Richard Brautigan. This book was very strange, very weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a guy who doesn't really have a name, and he's an author and a sculptor, and he lives in a town, and they have this like town meeting place called Death, and everything in the town is made of watermelon sugar, and it's like a post-apocalyptic like fantasy world, and the narrator's parents are dead because tigers ate them, but the tigers helped him with his math homework, and it was all very strange. And so he has a new girlfriend and an ex-girlfriend who's still pining over him. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. It's a very quick read. It's like 140 pages and it's only like half pages most of the time. I don't know if I would recommend it. I mean, it's maybe I would. It's worth the read because it's so strange. It's so weird. I would recommend that you read it. But I probably wouldn't read another one of his books because it's not really my type of book. I definitely liked it better as I got more into the story, like more into the story about the girlfriend and the ex-girlfriend. It was definitely more interesting once there was like a plot. And it's kind of weird how it's like a strange story, but you almost like don't even really think that it's that strange because it's kind of relatable. I don't know, kind of weird. So if I were to relate this to Harry Styles, the title is pretty much the only thing that's similar. And I don't know, as I'm recording this now, I don't know what, if he said that he read this or if he was seen with photos of this. I did horrible research for this video, clearly, but I will put it somewhere here if he mentioned it in an interview. I'm sure he did. I could see him liking it because he does drugs. That's kind of the kind of book that it is. Okay, I have one more to read. My Policeman, which I am excited about because it's the most normal book in this whole video. Okay, bye! Hello again, friends. So it's been a while since I started this video. I also got a haircut since the beginning of this video, and I'm in my pajamas right now. I finally finished My Policeman, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and okay, let me tell you what it's about. So it's about a girl named Marion who's in love with this boy named Tom for like her whole childhood. She's best friends with Tom's sister, and then they grow older and then they meet up again, and then they kind of get married, and all the while Tom is having an affair with a man. So this book I'm reading because Harry Styles has a movie coming out called My Policeman after this book, and he's playing the character of Tom. So reading it, I was thinking it would focus a lot on Tom, but it mostly, so it's like written, it passes between Marion's perspective and Patrick's perspective, who's the other man. And it really doesn't have anything to do with Tom at all. It's really Marion's story about how she was a nasty bitch and redeemed herself. And also Patrick's story of how, he loved someone so much he went to jail? I don't know. But yeah, I really liked it. I'm glad that I read it. It's very similar to other books that I would have read. I think it's kind of like, Call Me By Your Name. So I've already recommended it to a friend because she likes Call Me By Your Name. Hi, Avery. So one thing that I think is really weird, obviously I haven't seen the movie yet because it's not out yet, but I think the casting for Patrick is so strange because he's meant to be like 10 years older than Tom, and I don't know his name who's playing Patrick in the movie, but he almost looks younger than Harry, which is like a completely different story, because in the book, Patrick is like needs Tom and likes that he's younger and whatnot, because his ex, something happened to his, well, not really ex, because he passed away, but anyways, he needed Tom, and I think it was important that he was younger, so I think it's weird that they cast someone who almost looks younger than Harry. Also, I saved a few pages that I'm really excited for Harry scenes to be. Let me get to them. Oh, okay, so the first time Tom meets Marion's family, Marion's dad says, "Here he is," and then Tom says, "Here I am," and I'm very excited to hear Harry say that, because it seems like something he would say, which is such a silly line, but I think it would be very cute. And then I have another one. Ooh, I saved this one page. I'm not gonna read it because I feel like it doesn't really spoil. I hope it didn't spoil anything in my review here. Page 194, if you're going to read this book, is very lovely. It's one of my favorite pages in the book, I've decided. Okay, yeah, so this one is probably my favorite out of this whole video, but I'm going to give a better review tomorrow when I'm not going to bed. Okay, see you then! I'm sitting here in bed and I'm thinking about the review I just gave for that book, and I think I was too influenced by Goodreads reviews I was just reading, because I don't really believe what I said. I called Marion a bitch, and I don't really think she's a bitch. I think she was so helplessly in love with Tom that it, like, blinded her to everything else. And then, spoiler alert, in the end, she realizes that she was wrong, and she kind of redeems herself. So I apologize, Marion, for calling you a bitch. Okay, now I'm going back to bed. Thank you. Okay, I'm sitting here in my thoughts again, and I forgot to say that nothing really happens in this book. Like, stuff does happen, but it's, like, very mundane. Like, it's kind of uneventful, which is not what I was expecting. So I'm curious to know what other people would think about it. So has anybody read this? Because am I right in saying that it's uneventful? Or am I crazy? Okay, I'm going to bed for real now. Hello, so you've reached the end of this video where I read books that Harry Styles has read or recommended. I guess I'm just gonna give a little quick recap of every book. So the first book I read was Love is a Mixtape, which is a memoir of Rob Sheffield, who is an editor for Rolling Stone magazine. I really enjoyed this book, and I would recommend it. I think if you like memoirs, then you should read it, and if you like music, you should definitely read it. And I think it would be really interesting to read it with Harry in mind and try and relate it to him. And then next I read, I'm out of breath because I'm talking so fast, Susan Sontag's Notes on Camp, which is this edition is 2 essays. I'm not sure if Harry only read the first one or if he read both, but this was a very quick 2 essays put together, and it was so pretentious and pointless, and I did not enjoy it, and I do not recommend it. And then I tried to read Love is a Dog from Hell, which is a collection of poems by Charles Bukowski, and I did not like it at all, and I could not finish it. It was so raunchy and sexual, and that is not for me. It's definitely very Harry, so maybe try and read it if you're into that, but I don't think it's really for Harry fans. I don't think they would enjoy it very much. And then I read In Watermelon Sugar, which I thought was very strange as I was reading it, but the more I thought about it post-reading it, I really enjoyed it, and I definitely would recommend it. It's just so unique and interesting, and I have looked it up to try and figure out what other people think about it, or if there's symbolism or what everything means, and I literally can't find anything. So can you read this and talk to me in the comments, because I'd like to know other people's opinions. And then the last book I just finished was My Policeman, which Harry is going to be starring as one of the 3 lead characters in the movie that's coming out, and this book was very cute. I really liked it. I don't know if cute is the right word to describe it, because it's kind of sad. It was a little mundane, and not much happened, which you probably saw in my ramblings as I was laying in bed. But I really liked it. It's a good book if you like kind of historical type things, because it does take place in the 50s, and I think I would recommend it to people who like Call Me By Your Name, because it's kind of similar in the sense of someone like discovering who they are. Yeah, so that's it. So I read those 4 and attempted another one, and I thought this was an interesting experiment. I probably wouldn't do it again, and I probably wouldn't take a recommendation from Harry Styles again, because I think we have very different interests. So I'll be reading my cheesy YA romance from now on, and no longer taking raunchy poetry suggestions from celebrities. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. Hopefully you stayed till the end. If you've read any of these books or plan to read any of these books, I'd love to know your thoughts if you want to share them in the comments. And maybe tell me your favorite Harry Styles song. Ooh, okay, see you next time!